If we can categorize certain car companies and give them their own personalities, it would be like, oh, look at this smart man here, his name's Audi. This heavy pound muscle guy is from Michigan named Dodge, who drinks a lot. But besides him is Honda, smart guy, but can really pack a punch. And he's quite a reliable man. McLaren is that well-dressed and sophisticated lad who had his peak popularity entering his career. Koenigsegg would be everything I said in this video. Lamborghini is that artistic man in the pub with a sense of humor you would love to hear. But then, there is Ferrari, competitive, full of himself, might sue its own customer, and most of all, arrogant, egocentric. Well, that's my impersonation for you all. And anyway, what is a better way to define a car company but from the type of man who founded it himself? And if there was a man like Ferrari, it was the man himself, Mr. Enzo Ferrari. Not the most liked individual in the automobile industry, respected certainly. The man who was a racing driver, a manager, and prancing his horse even after much loss after surviving 2 world wars. His drive, passion, ambition, and competitiveness made him of what he was, arrogant. Or it could be the other way around. It is because of his arrogance of always wanting to win that made him dominate in the racing industry in those olden days. And I shall thank him for it.
The most redeeming thing about the Miura would be the fact that there's only so many of them. It's highly collectible. It's exciting because it's unusual, it's small, it's exotic, it's still exotic today, and it was significant in its style. I think it's the car that put Lamborghini on the map.
Well, just like school exams, the result of the actions is what matters, not the way how you do it. It doesn't matter if you cheat or fed the teacher by your charm. But just like in the case of Ford GT and the best of the result, Lamborghini Automobili, one of the most iconic halo cars for the company, and one is the company. I'm sure you all know about the story of Enzo Ferrari and Ferruccio Lamborghini alongside the creation of Ford GT40 through Ford vs Ferrari. But to brief it, Lamborghini in the 1950s was a tractor company and was quite popular with it. Business was booming, baby. And to celebrate, Ferruccio Lamborghini thought of owning one of the best exotic sports car in Italy, a Ferrari 250 GT. However, a Ferrari was made to be fast with no compromises in order to race, and the 250 GT was just a race car on the road. It was uncomfortable, unrefined for road use. It was too noisy. It broke down quite a lot, particularly in the clutch department, and it was quite expensive to maintain then after. And to give Enzo Ferrari his words, he went to meet him and was greeted with insults. That Ferruccio is a tractor boy and he cannot judge of what a sports car is and was supposed to be. And then the rest is history. And when it comes to Ford, they needed a name in the motorsport world in order to sell their cars, of course. The win on Sunday, sell on Monday idea was a true American phrase, and so they made a deal with Ferrari, who were on a tight spot in the 60s, for $16 million. Ford were particularly interested in the 24 hours of Le Mans, but as the story goes, Ferrari was being Ferrari after all. He didn't like the idea of Ford controlling the motorsport sector of Ferrari, and so he rejected, infuriated, and then just left the board meeting room. All efforts wasted. The owner of Ford, Henry Ford II, was enraged and infuriated after this event, and then he set out to dominate Ferrari in the 24 hours of Le Mans. It didn't matter how much it would cost for the project, how many tries it took. Ferrari must be crushed. Then came the Ford GT40, and then after a few attempts with the help of Carroll Shelby and racing driver Ken Miles, they won in the year 1966 at the first 3 positions. And again, rest is history. But then imagine this, without Enzo Ferrari's egocentric personality, we wouldn't have the Lamborghini Miura, the fastest and the first rare mid-engine car in the world. We wouldn't have the iconic rivalry of Ford and Ferrari. We wouldn't have the GT40 for God's sake. I mean, in the present day, can you imagine a world without these beauty babes? I cannot. And in case if I haven't mentioned it before, Lamborghini is my favorite car company, and it wouldn't even exist without that push that Enzo gave to Ferruccio. That same push that made Henry Ford to get out of his way to make a race car, no matter the cost. And as the title of the video says, thank you, Enzo Ferrari, for your arrogance. Goodbye.